Or we start right now
Yeah.
and talk crap about him for not being here. We can, if it's, we can hold our own.
Yeah. I'll be just fine without him.
Okay. Well, you say the word.
You want me to do the intro?
Sure.
Or do you want to do it?
I think I've done it more times than you have. So
Okay.
why don't you give it a shot?
Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Cole.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil. Now we have to say the last part at the same time.
We slum it hard.
We slum it hard.
We slum it hard.
So you don't have to.
Nailed it. We'll sync it. We'll fix it
Yes.
in post.
Yes.
We'll definitely fix it in post. So Phil. Oh.
Yes. Aaron is no longer with us.
He died.
That's not what I mean. Aaron is currently not with us.
He's currently dead.
Temporal.
in this mortal coil.
Aaron is. There's got to be a better way to say this. Aaron is
indisposed.
Currently. There you go. That's a way to say it. That is better than what I said.
That's the word, right? Oh no, wait.
Indisposed. What does indisposed mean?
I think so. I just looked it up. Slightly unwell, or averse / unwilling. So that means he doesn't want to be here.
Oh,
currently indisposed.
I'll say this. That reminds me. I was at a
so that
a
would
big
be
shot.
Like they're sick. Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
sick. Okay, but that's when they don't want. You said when they don't want to.
It could also mean like you're indisposed to attend something. Yeah.
So I was at a big shot meeting a couple weeks ago, like the whole school district, all the teachers, and one of the assistant superintendents was like kind of emceeing the event. And they said way more, like they gave like a 20-minute presentation, and they said way too many times without further ado. And I was like, listen,
which is right.
I know, but like, I feel like you're allowed to say it once.
You say that once. Yeah. Because it's like, that's how you transition between like, that's how you start.
Right?
Or to the start. It's like, we're doing like little intro garbage, and then it's like, okay, without further ado, here's the main deal that you're here for, or whatever.
Right. But I think she was using it like, I'm done talking about this person, and now I'm going to introduce this person.
It's not just like a transition from one thing to the next.
She kept saying, without further ado, the next person I'm going to introduce. And then that person would come up and talk, and then she'd come back and she'd talk, and she'd go, and without further ado, and I'm like, no, it's didn't cross my mind that you use it one time. But like,
I think that's all you get. I think you just get one.
Yeah. Like, are we only allowed to use it once a day? What should be the
once per event? I think
once per event. Okay.
You should turn your camera off though.
I'm good with that.
Probably.
Once per event. Am I getting funky?
Getting pretty bad. Which is even worse than when there's only two of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my Hyundai. What was it called? Is that what it was called?
Hyundai, you virgin.
Hyundai.
Also, but like, here's the weird thing. Like, the fact that somebody doesn't know about freaking animated porn, like that would make, like the fact that you know what it is makes you more of a virgin. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you're making fun of me because I don't know the name for cartoon porn. Like that, you guys are the virgins. Like,
Yeah, you're the psycho who knows what it's called.
yeah, like
You
I
know that
just
it
have
has
been
its
with
own name.
actual women in real life. Freaking school kids, man, they're so dumb.
Hey. Uh-oh.
What?
Speaking of
Aaron here?
virgins.
Hey. Is that why we couldn't
Speaking
have
of
kids for so long?
virgins. Oh, it still says audio connecting. So he can't talk crap about it because he's
Speaking
not
of
hearing it.
virgins.
Speaking of virgins who can't drive.
Hey, Aaron, we're already recording, so you better get your crap together fast.
And don't say anything, that you will regret.
Don't say the racist things you normally say before we start recording. Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry. I'm here now.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, Cole, you just reminded me. At the training thing that I was at the other day,
Is this in an episode?
they put us
Are we
into small
started already?
groups.
We're inside of an
Yes.
episode,
Okay.
Aaron.
Nice. It feels.
We're
I thought it
deep.
felt familiar.
You're very quiet, though.
Aaron,
Oh,
turn up
right,
your.
Right on.
Cool.
How's that?
Better.
Cut
Maybe
that,
a little
cut
A
bit.
little more. A little more. Juice it a little more.
Ooh, yeah. Juice. You got the juice. All
Juice.
kinds of
Juice.
juice.
So I was at this training thing the other day. They put us into small groups, and they mixed us up by department. So I didn't know any. I was with a bunch of people I don't work with, and I don't ever talk to. And we were talking about the word, the internal biases that we have, and there were a bunch of different
saying biases.
Yeah,
No,
biases.
they didn't say it because it was written down. They made us say it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And there were all these different, and I didn't know this. There's different kinds of biases.
Just biases. It's not biases. Only pretentious people pronounce it like that.
I say biases. I'm just kidding.
Bias.
Does it bother you when people
I just
say stuff
bias
like that?
only.
Biases?
Um,
It doesn't bother
I wonder.
me, but
doesn't
I
bother
wonder
me.
about them.
people act as if that's the correct way to say it, and it's not.
I just wonder about them. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the way that we pluralize.
Yeah, it's not like
words anymore.
theses. It's like if the word was biases, if the
Yes.
singular was
Yes.
biases, then it would be biases, but it's
Yes,
not.
correct.
Is this a Greek Latin thing?
Or if it was biasus, it would be biasi, I guess.
No, it's
I'm gonna
just that
start
the
saying
plural
biasi.
The plural
We
of
all-
is words is es, but
Yeah.
when
Like
you add an
thesis.
es, it's not a long e, it's a short e.
Yeah, it's a shorty.
A
I'm
shorty?
gonna start saying we have a lot of
Shorty and a
inherent.
memory in
we
my
have-
head.
We all have our own biasi.
I'm gonna say bias us.
Bias.
I'm gonna say
We
bias.
got a lot of biases.
biasum.
Biases.
Biasa.
Yeah, biome.
So, biome.
Several biome.
So I said, so one of different kinds of.
Aaron.
Bias. and and so the first one on the list was confirmation bias, and I said, and somebody was like, so okay, so we're supposed to have an example of that, and I go, okay, I've got one. So if I'm driving down the highway and and this car cuts me off really slowly, and I'm like, who the hell's driving this car? And I pull up, I'm like, oh, of course it's a woman. And I go, so that's a confirmation bias, right? And they're like, and somebody goes, yeah, that's perfect. And I don't remember what the next bias was, but I gave another example of women drivers.
That was sexist. Oh, jeez,
And-
that's awesome.
And the women at the table turned on me so freaking quick. It was so awesome. And what's really funny is there was one, it was all women at the table and me and one other guy. And the other guy is like in his late 50s and he's a white dude. And he laughed.
So he's like, this Phil guy, he's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
he
laughed.
I'm totally on board with everything he's saying.
And the fact that he laughed and none of them laughed, made the jerk made it way worse.
Totally.
Which made me think it was even funnier.
Oh yeah, it's way funnier, but it's worse.
It confirmed so many biases too. Like,
ooh, it confirmed all your biases.
Like, I knew women couldn't take a joke, and they were like, I knew.
Here they are.
I knew these white men were sexist.
And that's what you should have said.
I should have said that.
And now that is confirmation bias.
Yeah, you're like, that's the real confirmation bias I was getting at.
You
I was in the long con.
Look at all of you getting upset.
Look at all of you getting upset.
Getting upset.
Oh man. So what did I miss?
Well, we just talked about you.
I mean, what did I miss?
The missies. How's the missies?
We talked all about the things, how much we love you, how much we appreciate you, all that you do for us.
Can I tell you guys something embarrassing?
Yes.
So you know TikTok, right? You guys are aware of TikTok.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with?
I've heard of it.
Are you familiar with the this trend of? It's not exclusive to TikTok, but they call it like pack ripping or box breaking.
Yeah.
For like playing cards.
Yeah.
They like break a box.
Yeah.
No.
So you're not familiar with this, Phil?
No.
So there's different iterations, but the main thing is someone will like open packages of trading cards, and people will watch them open the trading cards.
So it's like you get it's like low investment because you're hoping like you get some enjoyment out of them pulling some rare card or whatever, but you don't have any investment in it, you know.
So I got sucked into a live stream on TikTok yesterday of this guy called Fabulous Breaks from Fabulous Las Vegas. And what he does is he has all these boxes of trading cards up on the wall, and like people will send him money to buy them.
Oh, and then he opens them up, and it's like, here's
Yeah.
your cards that I'm going to send you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I watched that for
What?
an hour
Why is
and a
that
half last night.
It's just like a fun experience. I mean, it's the same reason
It's like
Twitch.
it's fun. It's like watching TV. Yeah, it's just cool.
It's the same reason because people criticize
Here is
Twitch.
your cards that I'm going to send you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like everyone's watching it together.
It's a communal thing. It's like better than just like I'm going to open it in the basement by myself.
Phil, have you been to Las Vegas?
Phil, it's like,
Yes.
why do you go work
Okay,
out with
so-
all those dudes? You could just go work out by yourself.
No, but this is the thought I had, and probably because he's in Las Vegas. But it's similar to like standing around the craps table or like
totally
watching other people play poker, where it's like you have no investment in it, but they do, and so that raises the stakes and makes it exciting. And like if someone pulls like a good card, you're like, oh, that was awesome. And if they don't, then you're like, oh, dude, that sucks. So you like get to live vicariously through them. So it's like a gamble. It's like a somewhat gambling because they're people paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these packs of cards, and like they're like, oh, okay,
They're probably
this
not
card
paying,
right
like,
here.
They're
No,
probably
like
not paying like
these-
way over market value or anything, right?
No, it's just a lot. So they were like,
Yeah.
it was like for like the one that was like, this is the cool one. It's like $480 for like a box of 10 packs of cards.
Yeah.
And so then he's like ripping them, and they're like, you're guaranteed 4 autographed cards, and like most of the autographs are just like brand new rookies, so they're not really worth anything, but like if they hit big, then they could be. But then every once in a while someone will like hit a cool card, and you're like, oh, this card is like super rare, and it's worth like you just made all your money back and then some with one card.
Yeah.
It's gambling, but it was fun.
But it's fun.
I watched it
it's
for
just like
way
a
too
communal.
long.
Dude, I would get sucked into those for Pokemon cards sometimes. And there's this one guy who opens Pokemon cards who he does this thing where it's kind of annoying because, well, so he'll do a poll and have people vote if he should rip the pack or not, meaning like actually tear the cards in half.
Oh.
And then the point of it is like you're risking, like if you have him tear the cards in half, there must be some like he only does a certain amount. Because the point is like it's exciting because then he might open it, like he tears them in half before he knows what they are.
Yeah.
So he might open the pack and realize, oh, I had this really valuable card and now it's ruined. What? But like as the viewer, you have no skin in the game, so it's like, yeah, tear them all in half. Like, what do I care? Like it's more fun that way, and like it doesn't cost. So there must be limits on like how often he does it or something like that. But
yeah, like on there, they kept trying to get him. They're like, if we get 100,000 likes, rip a pack for yourself. Like open a pack for yourself. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that ever. It's like, yeah, obviously, because you make more money selling them than you would like from the cards.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's not his hobby.
Like some people make money from a pack, but most people are losing money, which means you're gaining money. And plus, you paid like below retail. You're selling them at a gain already.
Or
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like that maybe is more what it is. But yeah, they're probably paying a premium just because like it comes from him and like maybe he's well known or something like that, or like he's at least well known to them.
Seems like some of the cards are like hard to get or rare. Like even the packages, like you can't really just go buy a pack at the store or whatever.
That's how there was like a lot of card shortages during COVID, weirdly, of like new cards. So like Pokemon cards, there are people camping outside of like Walmart on random days just to get Pokemon cards, and it's like that's crazy. Well, whatever, like it's not hurting anybody, but
I mean, I guess it's not that crazy. It's like anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hobby.
Like it's pretty nuts. Like we're sitting on a Sunday night talking to random strangers we met on the internet,
a million years ago.
We all do weird stuff, I guess.
He had the best part for me was he had this one box and he's like, these are Asian exclusive and like, don't ask me how I got them. And every time he said that in the chat, I was like, how'd you get those? It's just such
a
dumb
classic
joke,
Aaron move.
How'd you get those all teams?
So were they sports cards then?
Yeah, it was a lot of NFL cards, and it was like baseball, basketball, and football. And I saw this one lady bought like a box of UFC cards, which is like the least exciting thing ever.
Yeah, UFC is weird
because I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
But also, like, team sports, there's like everyone it shows your stats for a whole season, and the stats make sense.
Yeah.
UFC,
it's like I may not know this name, but I know the team. At least I recognize that.
Yeah.
Well, and
this is
and
just
the
like
other
a
thing
bunch of buff people, like on cards.
Well, the other thing with UFC is like the percentage of guys that actually like have any longevity is very small. Like,
totally.
Yeah.
So most of them are like, they have like a short record. And also the record is like if somebody has an ERA in the major leagues, you know what that means. But if somebody just has a record of their fights, just like with boxing, like you don't know who they fought. Like they could have just fought a bunch of random Joes at the local, gym or whatever.
Random Jews.
Yeah,
So
I've watched my share of in Pokemon cards. There's like, I don't know if sports cards are the same way. They must be, but in a given pack, there's like a certain number of basic cards, or just like low non-rare cards. And then there's a certain number of rare and ultra rare cards or whatever, and there's always an energy, and they're always in the same order in a Pokemon pack. And so people know, like they'll open it and then put a certain number of cards on the back, and then show as they're flipping them, so the best card ends up at the end. But then it even gets as granular as like, a lot of the high value cards, especially in the early Pokemon cards, which are the only ones that have a ton of value. Like the holographic cards weigh a tiny bit more. So you can sell like a sealed pack of like first generation Pokemon cards if it's heavy, which is like, it's a, like fractions of a gram more, but you can sell it for way more, even though it's still just like a guess. Like hopefully it has it,
That's crazy.
Hopefully one of the cards just isn't weirdly heavy. But that's a weird, I don't know. And it's weird because like if I had kept all my Pokemon cards I had, they would all be worth a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
But at the time we had just like, I grew up in the second generation of baseball card collecting, which was when none of those cards are worth anything ever because everyone had a million of them,
Yeah, they were just
But,
everywhere. You could buy like boxes.
Yeah, and our
my
parents
brother was into it. Every Christmas he would get like a box.
Yeah.
So you would get like every card, right?
Oh, totally. Like I would get like full
Like
sets.
you could just buy the complete set. Yeah,
exactly.
of even baseball cards. Like
yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
I
get
had
the Topps box, and it's going to give me every card they published that year or whatever.
Yeah, I had the complete set of 91, 92 Upper Deck.
Yeah. Upper Deck.
Like,
What was the other one that was big?
Donruss, Tops.
Donruss, yeah.
Yeah, Upper Deck. Fleer and Tops were like the two biggest probably.
Yeah.
We were like way into baseball cards. I think
Upper
I
Deck
told
was
you
like
guys the
baseball
story
only, yeah.
of when I went to that card show and bought this one card I really wanted, and it was a Frank Thomas rookie card. And I've been carrying it around the whole show, and then realized I was holding the case upside down, and it slid out at some point, and so it was just lost.
Oh,
Yeah, dude, it was brutal. And I was like,
Sucks.
probably 8 or 9, maybe. So it was like, stuff like that means a lot at that age.
That's terrible.
So that was nuts. Yeah. So then we grew up to know that, like, okay, our parents were into baseball card collecting when they were older because they had the same thought of like, man, if I kept all my cards from when I was a kid, I'd be a millionaire.
Right.
And we grew up in the generation that was like, well, none of these cards are going to be worth anything because everyone has a million of them, so don't worry about it. But then, it turns out Pokemon cards would have been worth a lot.
That's weird. Unless you get like a misprint or something.
Yeah. Or like the one, what's the card where he has the guy has F face written on the bottom of his bat. So they took it out of
that one.
They took it out of print.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I think that's what it says on the, let's see.
That's amazing.
They took it out of print. Yeah, it's Billy Ripken. And his bat said, it says F face on it. I don't know how I remembered that. Apparently that was a nickname or something, which like, that's a pretty brutal nickname. Not even that it's like insulting, but like that's, for some, like, are they saying that often?
Yeah.
Oh man. It's weird. Cards are like super, and I see a ton of those on TikTok on lives,
Yeah.
People.
Did you guys
opening
talk
different
about
kinds of
the Phil's dance yet?
cards. The high school dance, or did he come up with a dance?
No, the high school dance.
mm-mm.
No, we didn't.
Is there anything worth talking about?
You mentioned there wasn't much grinding happening.
No. Okay. This is amusing. So part of this is, I think, the fact that we're coming back from COVID, right? And it's been 2 years of no dances. So like the kids there was no junior prom last year,
Yeah.
So these kids, this is junior prom. Most of the kids there are juniors, unless they were invited by a junior. So like they have not been to very many dances. And I thought it was odd that the dance started at 7. There's like, lights, there's a DJ, there's a huge line outside. The kids are trickling in, and they are not. They do not. They seem very, very timid. Like junior hires. I mean, they were like, not like split up by, boy girl or anything, but like they were not moving. And when that video that I sent you guys, the part of what I thought was so funny about it is that this song like makes me want to freaking move. What was the song?
I have no idea.
In the video I sent you guys?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Was it
making
I
an
like
awkward
to
face?
move it?
No, it was definitely not that one.
Was it Move
It was
by Ludacris?
probably not. Anyway,
Was it I Like the Way You Move?
it's definitely like a booty shaking type
Was it
of song.
Everybody Dance Now?
Things that make you go move.
Nope, none of those. And
Where did you send it? Was it?
you
Was
guys
it in the hot
all
bath
responded. You all, yeah, and you all sent me
okay.
like
Yeah,
inappropriate
okay, here we go.
comments.
Yeah, just because I knew it was happening, but I was busy watching people rip open trading card packs.
So
I don't recognize
the point is, the song is playing, and I thought it would be funny to make a video of me making awkward faces at a dance, when in actuality nothing inappropriate was happening in front of me. In fact, it was very sad because they were all just standing around. Now, it was a few minutes after I sent that video that
Things
the
got
song
wild.
Party Rock Anthem came on, and it was like a freaking light switch flipped in every kid's.
And that song is "Party Rockers in the House Tonight." Is that
That's
the one?
Yes.
Everybody just have a good time.
Is it
They
Party Rock
collective-
is in the house or Party Rockers in the house?
I think
Party,
it's
I
actually
thought it was Party Rock. Party Rockin'. Party Rock. And
Party Rock is in the house tonight. I was right. You guys,
Yeah, that's what I
You guys
thought
can-
too. And then he says
Party
later on,
Rock.
he says thanks for
everybody
Party
just have a
Rockin'.
good time.
thanks for Party
And
Rockin'.
we gonna make you lose your mind.
Yeah, he says thanks for Party
Everybody
Rockin'.
just have a good
Hey, thanks for Party Rockin'.
That's LMFAO. Is that who that was? Or
Yeah.
Yes. So that song comes on,
Yeah.
and it was like in all of their hearts and minds, a switch flipped, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute! I'm here to
that's beautiful.
go
To-
ballistic."
To have a
And-
good time.
Yes. And they instantly, like the entire mob just started jumping up and down. And I was like, and it made me so freaking happy to see them like it, but it was weird that it was like, okay, this song didn't do it, this song didn't do it, this song did it, and that was the it was like,
That is weird.
oh, and
I would
here's another
think-
thing that that's the one. Here's the other thing that I found very, very interesting. It was the DJ played relatively current songs, but the ones that they went the most crazy for were songs that were between 15 and 20 years old.
Yeah. That
Why?
Interesting.
Because that's how it
That's
was
not-
for us too.
No way.
Yeah,
No
dude,
way.
When I was, yes. If
When,
like
okay, listen. No, when you were in the
Mhm,
in the late 90s,
mhm.
you did not go the most ballistic for songs that were in the mid 70s.
Well, first of all, that's 20
Be mid
something years.
80s.
When I graduated in 2000. I guarantee you, if like a hit from the mid 80s came on, people would have enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, like for me, the most popular song was Blue. So when did that song come out?
Like the mid 80s.
Dude, that song would have blown
Wait.
people's minds in the 80s.
are you talking
I
about
have a blue house Blue is the
that one?
color of all that I wear. Eiffel 65.
1965.
No, the band is called Eiffel 65. No, that song came out in 1998.
Okay, yeah.
But you're right. Like
That's like
I don't know.
a Dance Dance Revolution song in my mind.
Totally. But yes, people would have lost their mind at plenty of 80s songs too, though. Although it probably would be a little bit older than that, because I feel like my age growing up, we thought the 80s was like the worst time for music. But I guess at a dance, it's different than like the type of music you would listen to on a day-to-day basis.
But here's what I think is the reason why, if I could posit a theory and see what you guys think about this.
Pause it away.
So if you play a current song, there's going to be some people who like it because it's like, okay, I like pop and this is a pop song, or I like rap and this is a rap song. And then other people are going to be like, well, I don't like rap, so I don't like that song. Or I'm into heavy metal, so I don't like whatever, right? So in current music, there's a lot of like genre specific things, and like you have to like it to like it. But if it's old, then it's like that kind of goes out the window, and everyone can just like it, and a lot of the pretense is gone.
I think you might be right. Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus was a massive hit last night. Like, they went freaking bonkers when it came on.
Not that old though, is it?
It's probably about 15 years old. Yeah.
Like the second the guitar, like it starts
maybe
with
10,
that guitar riff.
10 years old.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's certainly. Yeah, it's probably.
Because it was on.
We're talking
it was in the office. They riffed it in the office.
Yeah,
so
2009
was a part of Sabre.
Came out in 2009, so yeah, that was
13 years ago. Dang.
Sabre.
The second the guitar riff, like 2 seconds, 2 seconds into the song, they were screaming.
Okay, so if like at my high school prom, if Sweet Child of Mine had come on, it would have been the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Or Welcome to the Jungle, even though you can't really dance to it.
But like that guitar riff, if it would, everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, I know the song." It's a unifying experience, and no one like has to even like the song. It's just that they don't have to like it, you know. Like liking it or not liking it is kind of
you don't
at that point.
There was no like you didn't have to. Well, it's really more about you didn't have to hate it as much. Like there's a lot of current music that you kind of feel obligated to dislike, right?
You don't have to have any like thoughts about it. You just you can experience it kind of freely.
Yeah.
Ace freely. Kiss.
If a Kiss song came on, we probably wouldn't have been that thrilled because they're
like, "What is this?
Music isn't good." But
no,
except
I like
for
some Kiss songs,
except for Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. I feel like
you don't like Beth.
No, not Beth. No, not Beth, dude.
We don't say Beth.
Nobody likes that song.
I like
Bad
that
Beth. You don't say Beth. Oh no, that's Macbeth. Sorry.
Don't talk about the Beth.
Nobody likes Beth.
Oh, Mick.
Beth.
You're thinking
Beth,
of beef.
Beth is the worth.
Stop it. Stop talking about Beth.
Okay, but Party Every Night is good. Like it's cheesy, but it's.
I'm saying that
like
one.
It.
That's.
Yeah.
I think that is like a.
It's like a rock. It's just like a fun rock song.
Yeah, it's like
it's as legitimate as like
it's grown bigger
song
than
number 2
Kiss.
or something.
Yeah,
it's grown bigger than the band Kiss itself. Like I bet there are people who
I didn't know
song,
that was by Kiss for years.
Love that song and could sing all the words to the chorus and say I have no idea who sings that song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know a single Kiss song until I was like an adult, and I worked at a record store. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Whoa.
Oh
really?
Yeah, I didn't know about that at all.
Very, very cool of you.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What other Kiss songs even are there? Oh, I Was Made for Loving You, Baby. That's a good one.
Dude.
That's a good one.
Love Gun. Aaron, why don't you pull up the lyrics to Love Gun? Read us some lyrics.
No.
I think we've done this with Kiss songs before.
I don't actually like Kiss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
That's how bold of you to say.
All right, I want to tell you guys a story of joy and record collecting in the. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
In the what? Joy and record collecting in the barrio?
In the modern age.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now
All
that
right,
we know.
so this story has nostalgia.
Ooh.
It has lifelong friendship. It has surprises.
Deceit, revenge,
has birthdays.
true
has
love.
Metalcore and emo. Are you ready?
I don't know if I am.
All right, so I sold a pedal the other day, and so I had some extra money laying around. And this band that I used to like a lot called Zayo. Are you familiar with this band?
Yeah,
Zao, I believe.
Yeah, Zao.
They sing that song that goes, Zayo, me say Zayo.
So they were like a metalcore band in
Zaylight
like the 2000s.
come.
They're still around, but anyway, they announced.
I think it's Zayosin. Is that like
that
the
they're
crossover
re-releasing?
band?
They're re-releasing one of their seminal album, you might say, with new artwork that better reflects the times, and it lines up with the two previous albums that were kind of a trilogy. So anyway, new artwork that like
Wait.
better
Was
fits
the old artwork like racist or something?
No. So the drummer of the band went through a phase where he was like wearing eyeliner a lot, which is not a big deal, but
Especially because he's the drummer. Like most people probably didn't even notice.
he was also like the founder of the band, whatever. But anyway, so the cover of the album is just a close up of his eye with like fingers next to it. It's really bad. So the new album is.
So they were really like playing up the fact that he was wearing eyeliner.
Yeah.
They're like, look how cool we are because our drummer has eyeliner.
Yeah, but I think it was like the kind of thing where like no one even liked it at the time, but he was like, "Oh no, this is really cool," and he kind of had like creative control in some way. Anyway, so he's out of the band now, so they've redid it. And the two albums before that had like paintings that this one artist had done, the cover art, and so they got that guy to come back and do a third one that goes on the third album. So like it's a trilogy. Anyway, so I was like, okay, this album comes out. It's releasing Friday at 10 a.m. and it's like limited to however many copies. So I'm like, I'm going to try to get one. So 10 a.m. comes around. I go on Instagram to find the link, and I see that another band that I like from back same time period, pretty much, the Juliana Theory. You guys familiar with that band?
TJ.
They have a new EP coming out on vinyl, and it's up for pre-order. So I'm like, okay, which one do I get? And I'm like, I have enough. I'm going to get both. So let me flash back to a couple weeks ago. My friend Neil, who I have been friends with for like 20 plus years, 25, 20 something years. He texted me and he goes, "Hey, give me your address. I have something to send you." And he sent me the new record from this other band, Squad 5-0, who released a new album. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy myself the Zayo album. I'm going to pre-order the Juliana Theory album for myself. And I'm going to pre-order the Juliana Theory album for Neil too. So I did. And then I messaged Neil. I text him and I say, hey, they just announced this and I got one and I got one for you too. And he messages me back and he goes, "Oh, dude, sick. Zayo just re-released Liberate, and I got you a copy." And I was like, "No way!" The album that I bought. So now I'm like, okay, so now I'm gonna have two of this record, right? I'm like, okay. I guess I could like sell one or like whatever. The next day, my friend
Obviously,
Scott
you'd sell the one that you bought and not the gift.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll just sell the one that I got. My friend Scott, who I've also been friends with for like 20 plus years, we used to play in bands in high school. He sends me a message and he goes, "Hey, did you see this Zayo thing? They re-released this album, but I totally missed out on it." And I said, "Have I got news for you, my friend? Because I may have an extra copy, and if you want it, you can have it." I'm like,
for a small fee.
He's like, and he goes, "No way. that's awesome. Tomorrow's my birthday. And I said, well, consider it a birthday present. And he's like, dude, let me buy you a shirt, a t-shirt of like, because they put out some new shirts too. I was like, okay, sick. And that is my story.
Wow.
Isn't that great? Everyone's just buying each other records and sending each other t-shirts and stuff.
I think Cole's asleep. Cole, are you asleep?
Man.
Yeah, Cole's asleep. Cole fell asleep. I don't know why.
No, sorry, I muted my mic. I'm a little jealous that like you have friends like that, I guess.
It's like that dude that goes to concerts.
Not that I want. What's that? Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
It's like,
but it is like a very cool. It's like a very heartwarming story.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
just fun that everyone was like thinking of each other and like
totally.
I don't know. I think I was like as happy or more happy to like give a one away than to like get one.
There's a lesson in there, man.
I know.
It's like all of you are Haley Joel Osment from that movie Pay It Forward.
Yeah, we're just paying it in a circle.
Yeah.
It's a circle pay. It's like
it's like a human centipede of paying it forward.
Like a perk. We're like passing the perks around in circles.
Exactly.
A circle perk.
You're jerking it forward is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There you go. It's like
when
the
you said
biscuit
circle
of the heart.
The perks, are you talking Percocets? Like you're talking about
biscuits of the heart.
Passing perks?
Not the band, but
passing perks.
Just passing perks, yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Oh man, that's the best part of if you ever want like okay, getting hit by a minivan, not great. But the Percocets, not bad.
If you ever want dude,
I wouldn't
it's crazy.
say it's worth it, but it's definitely a plus.
Have you guys seen
definitely a perk?
Have
you guys seen Soft White Underbelly?
No,
Yeah.
but I think
we
mentioned
talked
this
about
the
it.
other day.
Did we talk about it?
last
Not
podcast.
on the podcast. I don't think it was on the podcast.
It's wild. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's crazy about it, right? But one of the crazy things. So like he has one of his studios set up. It's just a guy that just interviews people and they're people kind of on the margins of society in a lot of ways. But a lot of them are just living at Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a ton of drug addicts. And it's crazy to hear the way that drug addicts talk about prescription drugs and like talk about like, I'm not going near that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because
dude,
like I'm literally addicted to crack, but I'm not going near that stuff because it's way too addictive. And I've seen too many people die from it. Like that is bonkers to me. And this is not just like, hysteria, that this is like actual experience. Like they're literally living, homeless and they're crack addicts. And they're like, no, I'm not going anywhere near any of that. Like, fentanyl.
That will ruin my life.
Exactly. Which is like, ugh.
It's like I have,
but
I mean, not to talk down, but like if you're a homeless crack addict, it's pretty bad. But they're like, I have too much to lose.
Exactly.
To go near that stuff.
I can't afford to be wasting my life on fentanyl.
Yeah. Wow, man, fentanyl. That's just there's no goodbye calls for fentanyl.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. Anyway, so you know what I did last week?
I don't.
I spent the whole week in Hawaii.
Oh, I did know that, yeah.
And one thing I want to talk about that was kind of fun. I thought about, so I was working at this place called the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is this place. It's owned by my church. But it's basically a theme park. And you go learn about, there's like villages for each. It's kind of like what's the Disney theme park that's like out,
like Epcot?
The Disney World one. I guess it's kind of like Epcot actually. That is the analogy.
Right.
But there's six. There's like Tahiti, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga,
New
Zealand, and Hawaii. And then they have like this luau at the end of the night. So they want some kind of Hawaiian luau. You remember that from Always Sunny? I bet he doesn't even know how to say luau when Charlie can't remember. Anyways.
Oh.
And then they do this like this whole show, and they have all these fire knife dancers and all this crazy stuff. So they have a shop there that mostly just sells. They have a bunch of different gift shops, and one of them just sells ukuleles, and they have a bunch of like handmade, super high end, like $7,000 ukuleles or whatever. And so I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll get a nice ukulele, but like one that's, I don't know, over $100, because every ukulele I've ever played is like $15 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But
just like one that's like an instrument and not a toy.
Exactly. I didn't end up getting a ukulele because the all of the ones that were in a reasonable price range were just Kala ukuleles, which is kind of like the most.
You could get them anywhere.
It's like the widely available brand of ukuleles, right?
Yeah.
But it was funny to see like, so there were a bunch that were like in the $300 range, and they incorporate a lot of like, I know you guys aren't super into acoustic guitar. Well, Phil, you probably are more than I am nowadays, honestly, but a lot of higher end acoustic guitars, and now that's starting to make its way into like mainstream acoustic guitars, but they'll have like a forearm bevel, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like an actual piece of the top that's cut out around where your forearm rests, and it'll have an angled piece of wood there and stuff. So like a lot of these ukuleles had a forearm bevel on them, even though like your forearm doesn't even rest. It doesn't even rest on a ukulele while you play. It's totally visual. Yeah. But they looked really good, honestly. But then a lot of them also had sound ports, which is another like really popular feature on boutique guitars, which is just like a sound hole on the side of the guitar, like where the preamp would be on a lot of acoustic electric guitars.
Yeah, like pointing up at the player.
Pointing up at your face, which again on a ukulele, I mean, that actually may make, a tiny bit of difference, but it was just funny to see these. They basically are just trying to make them look like boutique acoustic guitars, but yeah, I thought, I don't know. I was like, oh man, I'm going to get into ukulele now. I'm going to start playing the ukulele and like, but I totally wouldn't.
Instead of losing weight, you should just gain a ton of weight.
I know, exactly.
And
just be like Israel.
Yeah.
Kamakavivo Ole. Or Breda is, as they call him.
Yeah.
I obviously heard plenty of his music while I was there.
I'm sure. You should reach out to Kala Ukuleles and see if they'll make a signature model for you.
Heck yeah, dude, the chunky basti.
The cold ukulele.
We did go to Duke's, obviously.
Oh yeah,
in Waikiki.
Ooh, fancy.
Did you get a Locomoco?
Yeah. Well, my wife did, at least.
Oh,
I got a bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, dude.
No, I did get a Locomoco at this tiny little place. It was funny. So the Polynesian Cultural Center is in this tiny little town called Laie, and a lot of the town is basically focused around the Polynesian Cultural Center. So like, which is only open in the afternoon. It opens at like 12:30 and then closes at night after the night show. So like most of the restaurants there aren't even open at night because everyone who's there is eating at the Polynesian Cultural Center,
Yeah.
But they had this little restaurant that was just in the middle of this residential, like it was literally just houses all around it, and then this one little breakfast restaurant. So we went to get breakfast, and they had just lifted the mask mandate in Hawaii like the week before we got there. And like there used to be a bunch of travel restrictions for Hawaii. They lifted all the COVID related travel restrictions and everything. So
yeah, 'cause it's over.
On this restaurant, there were probably 6 signs that reminded you to wear a mask, and were like, we don't want your germs, like to the point where it's like, oh, this guy's kind of a nut job about COVID. And like, I was a nut job about COVID, right? But like, it's a little much. And we get up to the window. We're just outside. Like, you just order at the window, and we're like, oh, do you want us to put on masks? And she's like, no, they lifted the mask mandate. And we're thinking like, why do you still have these 6 signs hanging up? And they also had a sign that said cash only. And I was like, oh, let me see if I have enough cash. And she's like, oh, you can just pay with a credit card. It's like, why do you get rid of the cash only sign then, Save yourself some trouble.
Yeah, it would be helpful for your business if you removed that sign.
Exactly.
But
Like,
actually,
you're
all those signs would be helpful for your business.
Losing money. Oh man. But I wish I had more.
It is funny because a lot of places were like no cash during COVID, and to be cash only during
totally.
COVID, it's a bold move.
But this is more like because they're just like really small businesses.
I know, it's funny.
It is totally. It is like a weird backwards thing. In fact, there's this famous ice cream place near my house called Nielsen's Frozen Custard, and for years and years, like until COVID, basically, well, until like 2016 probably, they didn't accept credit cards at all. It was cash only or checks, which is like, that seems like a bigger risk. And then they started accepting credit cards, and then a few years later COVID hit and they stopped accepting cash because of COVID. And so on the sign it said like no cash accepted, and then in parentheses like, yes, we see the irony in this. Like, we get that it's funny because we only accepted cash forever. So anyway,
I feel like a lot
you
of
guys
places
think
are like, they only take cash because they're like, we don't want to pay credit card fees.
Exactly, which is like, I feel like for most places
and stuff.
I feel like for most places, especially like so a lot of the restaurants we had to eat at were just food trucks, and they were like in an area where there were a bunch of food trucks. I feel like in that setting, if you are one of the few places that does accept credit cards, you would way more than make up for the fees by just the increased business you would get by accepting credit cards.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about places like making you pay for the credit card fee?
I'm fine with
If
that.
they're like it's 50 cents to use a card.
Totally.
Or you have to
I'm
spend
totally
this much
okay
money. Like you have to spend.
Yeah,
at
that's
least
another.
this much
You
money.
see that at like gas stations.
Yeah,
where
and
it's like we don't want you.
Yeah, I'm fine with
buying
that
a
too.
pack of gum with credit card or whatever. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, it's just like asking someone to pay PayPal fees or whatever if you know they want to do PayPal. And it's like if you don't like the fee, well then pay cash. Well, I don't have cash. Well, then it's worth it to you because it's your only option.
It's conveniences
like,
for you. It's not more convenient for them.
Yeah. If you had walked up to the restaurant and the posted price had been 50 cents more, you wouldn't have thought anything about it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel about never mind. How do you feel about automatic gratuities? Like, how do you feel about that?
Dude, I'm like, I saw this tweet that was like, I know if I pull up to a place and they hand me an iPad to check out, I'm about to tip somebody for something I never would have tipped them for before. Like, even if that's not what you're asking, you're talking about automatic gratuity, but I hate every place that has an iPad checkout thing that just like pops up automatically with the tip. Like you're at an ice cream store.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I'm not going to tip you 20% for just handing me my ice cream. Like, that's not a part of the business.
A lot
model,
of coffee,
you know?
Or worse.
Totally. I
like,
bet coffee shops is like,
right?
But,
what do you think is like an adequate tip amount at a coffee shop?
Or worse, when it's like a frozen yogurt place where you do it yourself.
Yeah. Like, what
and
are you
then
talking
like
about?
you like
I put it on the scale. Like all you did was ring
like,
it up. Like
I scooped all my own things.
Yeah.
And now I'm putting it on the scale and you're pressing a couple buttons and then it's asking me to give you a tip. No. No, I'm not giving you a tip.
I feel like
you should be able to tip yourself by like
exactly like a negative.
Like what discount do you think you deserve for the work that you just did?
Exactly.
20%
work
sounds
that you
good.
didn't have to do just now. Well, I think like for a coffee shop, I would think like in the past you would have just thrown a couple bucks in there, right? Maybe.
Whoa.
I feel like,
bucks?
at coffee shops, you end up tipping way too much. Because like, okay, you spend
because
like
of the
$5
social
drink,
pressure,
and
right?
then you tip like $1. That's like 20%.
Right.
I guess that's not a ton, but I feel like sometimes on the pads it's like the lowest option is like 18, and then it goes up to like 30% or something.
Yeah, the lowest option is 18.
30%.
It's like 18, 20, and 24 or something, and it's like
something crazy.
Yeah, like I will never tip less than 20% at a restaurant, regardless of how bad the service was.
Yeah,
but like
Samesies.
but I
I
can't.
will
at
never
a
tip.
server restaurant. At a server restaurant,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 10% for takeout.
not
I think
Chipotle.
that's fair.
Yeah, Chipotle is just like what am I going to start
No, I
tipping at
don't
Taco
tip at
Bell or
Chipotle.
something? Or
Although-
Subway. Like you're not
I mean,
going to
you
tip at
should tip it-
Subway,
tip
right?
it.
I guess
I guess
an
everywhere you
argument
go,
can
people
be
are making
made.
your food. It's just they do it in
Yeah.
front of you, though, is the thing.
Exactly.
An argument
Like,
could be made for Chipotle to get and Subway to get tips.
but then you have to make the same argument for Burger King because I just asked them to
Yeah,
make me a
McDonald's.
Whopper with no tomato and extra whatever, and like somebody's making it, they're just not looking me in the face while they do it.
Yeah, they don't even make it until you order it.
You have it your way, Phil. You think that doesn't deserve a tip to have it your way? Why is Subway different from like I get initially why you would think that because you are
First of all,
'cause you can
Subway
see the
they're
person, right?
sandwich artists.
I mean
Okay,
that's
they're
debatable.
artists. I think this is dumb. This may be dumb. The argument should be made that if there's some form of skill involved, right? Like if you couldn't train me in one day to do the job,
So you're saying there's more skill involved in Subway than there is in Burger King?
I guess there's not.
But like you tip waiters and they don't even cook anything.
You're right.
But a lot of places the tip gets dispersed
Yes.
to the
In California,
cooks and
it has to
everything, right?
now. Yeah.
yeah, which is why I mean I don't like not tip for bad service for a million reasons, but like that's one of them is like you're punishing a bunch of
It
people.
affects everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm.
huh.
Bunch of
It-
rich
it-
white
I-
guys.
It is
Talk about
arbitrary,
tips.
though. It's definitely arbitrary.
It's
No,
weird
like
that
when
it's
I
still
worked at when I
What
worked
it
at
is
Borders
it
in the coffee
something-
shop, my tips were amazing. Like that was like I would make almost as much in tips as like I would get paid in a day.
the only reason tipping still exists is because it is a way for like restaurant owners and people in power to underpay people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Amazon probably wishes that tipping your delivery driver was more customary so they could pay their delivery drivers less,
Right.
Yeah. You tip pizza delivery guys and girls.
Yeah. And you tip like other food delivery.
Yeah.
I only used DoorDash once in my life. And it was when we were on vacation and someone else was using the car. So we ordered some breakfast and got, and part of the order was some hot chocolate for my wife. And the hot chocolate just wasn't in there. And so I got it from the guy at the hotel room door. And I was like, where's the hot chocolate? He's like, and he just kind of like shrugged his shoulders like, what are you going to do?
Wow.
It's like,
Ugh.
that's a bummer. Well, sure, something I could do about that.
You've only used DoorDash once?
Yeah.
You live with
Yeah,
Charles,
last
my
time
friend.
I just re-listened to last week's episode,
It's too expensive.
Yeah,
and he's talking about how expensive it is, and it's like, well, no,
I mean, it is, though.
it is.
no.
What do you mean no?
It's very expensive. You pay
Because
a large...
not only do you have to pay delivery fee and service fee, but they also jack up the prices too.
Yeah, the price of the actual goods is
Yeah.
higher.
Like I've used the Chipotle app even, and if you order like delivery, and then you toggle to pickup, everything's like 10 or 15% cheaper for pickup. Plus, they make you pay for delivery,
Yeah, it's pretty...
and that's their
it's
own
pretty
app.
brutal.
That's not even a third party. It's out of control.
It's very... Do you DoorDash a lot, Phil?
Not a lot, but enough that my wife paid for the what's it called?
Dash Pass.
Yes.
I mean, it's obviously
Which I
it's
guess
more
is
expensive,
why-
but like,
It's like
so even if you have that, you're not paying for delivery every time, but you're still paying like upcharged prices.
yeah.
Right. But that, yes. And some places more than others. Like
Yeah.
but yes.
Which again, it's like if you're willing to pay for it for the convenience.
Yeah,
then
I'm not telling you what to do
worth
with
it.
your money. Like you have a swimming pool. I'm not in any position to criticize your financial decisions, but I'm just saying that's the reason. Like that was enough to make me not want to ever do it again.
Yeah. I mean, most delivery sucks anyway because the food's just
Well, and I would say if
not made to be delivered.
if I used a service to bring hot chocolate to my door and I did not get that hot chocolate, I would hate that service too.
If I paid a whole buttload, yeah, like I paid for that hot chocolate, and there was no way he was like, I guess you can submit a complaint or something to like refund the hot chocolate. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go like that sounds like way more trouble than it's worth. But it's enough money for me to be angry about, but not enough money for me to go through the trouble of figuring out how to get refunded for part of the order. You know.
Wow.
Did I tell you guys in the early COVID days, like we're talking in the first couple weeks,
COVID days.
we had groceries delivered to our home.
Yeah. Did you
And-
sanitize everything?
Yeah, but the dude, like, there was alcohol in the purchase, and this was my driver's license had just expired, and Kathy wasn't there, and so I'm like,
So you had to verify that you're 21. That's the deal.
and he's like, well, but it literally, like, they've got an app on their phone where they as
scan
their delivery person, they have to scan the driver's license. They can't just like look at it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's not like he can just say you're obviously 21.
Yeah, you look like 21. Yeah. So I give him my license, and I didn't know this, that like he had to scan it. I give him my license and it's expired. So he's trying to run it and it's not working. And he's like, it's not working. And I wasn't going to mention it, like, but he didn't pick up on the fact that it wasn't working because it was expired. And so then he goes, I don't care. And he pulls his own ID out of his own wallet.
Oh wow.
I love that.
And scans it and then goes, here you go. And then like left. So like, I'm sure if he got caught doing that, he would have gotten in a lot of trouble. But like, it was like, you know.
Yeah, like
like,
what are the robots gonna do? You know, like are they really gonna check?
Right. But
And also, what does he have to lose? Like that's part of the problem with Uber Eats or Uber in general too. Is like, it's not like they're losing. It's not like they're getting fired from their job if something bad happens with it. I mean, I know for a lot of people it's their primary source of income, but it's not like, I don't know. Maybe I'm minimizing.
But he does have a lot to lose if I say, okay, well, fine then. I don't want this order. Like then he gets screwed.
Actual money.
So he has like a vested interest in just like going, okay, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like, lie because that it benefits him to, like the benefit in lying in that moment is far greater than like being the virtuous truth teller.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right.
You know what else is?
Hey, one last piece of great news.
Oh,
We just had General Conference, which is when they announced the new temples.
Yeah.
They announced a temple in Modesto, California.
Oh,
Sing it, Aaron.
Welcome to Modesto. It's the butthole of California.
Hell yeah!
I don't want to hear anyone's geographic things about why it's not the butthole of California. It is. Just
I was gonna message the boys about it, but then I realized there's already a temple in Fresno and Sacramento. So and they're from Like they're from Fresno, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Luke and Tim. So
Clovis.
still,
I think they might quietly correct you and say Clovis, but yes, they're Fresno.
yeah, that's like. Yeah.
Is that like if someone's like, "Oh, you're from like San Francisco," and you're like, "No, I'm in Sausalito or whatever."
Exactly. Well, it's even worse than that.
Probably
it would be
not.
like saying you're in San Mateo or something, you know.
If you're like, "Oh, you live in Oakland?" No, Berkeley.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't.
Clovis is like a literal
know,
suburb
Bay Area. Why am I using the Bay Area as an example?
of Fresno.
It is, and it's like more. It's a suburb in like all aspects. Like
It would be
Yeah,
like
it's
if you were
nicer.
like, "Oh, you live in
Yes,
El Cajon,"
nicer.
and you're like, "No, I live in Mount Helix." Like, come
It's
on.
Yeah, it's the difference is that with those first examples, like San Francisco is the more expensive place to live of those.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Clovis is like the nicer part of Fresno.
and give us some more examples that nobody knows about.
I'm trying to think of some. It's like, oh,
It's like you, Phil. If someone said you live in Sacramento and you were like, actually Roseville.
Phil.
But
Never mind,
but
it's
Roseville
not
is not
podcast
cooler
material.
than Sacramento.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's true. It is not at all.
In fact, I know way too many people who claim to live in Sacramento, like on their internet
Oh,
profiles.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't. You liar. You don't live in Sacramento. You live in freaking Roseville.
You're suburban.
hey guys, do you know where I live? In
Modesto?
Friendship, and I'm thankful
Oh.
for it.
I'm thankful for friendship too because it's got me a free T-shirt.
Heck yeah, dude. And
Oh,
it got you someone to give your Zayo record to.
And it got me. It was nice to reconnect with some old friends. So and it was nice to reconnect with you two tonight. So thanks
Yes.
for friendship to you as well.
is.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
that?